Okay, let me remind you that exponential functions, the basic form for those is y equals a b to the x, all right? So the first thing we're going to do is try to figure out what a and b are, okay? Let's plug in 0 and 5 and see what we can figure out here. We know that 5 is y. We don't know what a is. We know that b, we don't know what b is, but we know that x is 0. We also know that anything to the 0 power is equal to 1, which means that this piece right here is equal to 1. 1 times a is a, so we've already that quickly figured out that a is equal to 5. So rewriting our equation again, we can say y equals 5b to the x. One step closer, right? Okay, now we need to plug this in and see if we can, that will help us figure out what the value of b is. Okay, so we know that y is 125. We know that 5 is 5, of course, b, and then we have -2. Okay, so my suggestion is that you work to get b by itself. So that means we divide both sides by 5. 125 divided by 5 is 25. So now we have 25 is equal to b to the -2nd. Now, if it would say b to the 2nd, that'd be a little bit easier, wouldn't it? Because we know we just need to take the square root of both sides. But here we have this pesky negative, right? Okay, so I'm going to remind you of something that you know about negative exponents. You can take care of negative exponents by moving them to the denominator. That's a perfectly legitimate move. And so if we've done that, we can say this. And now, class, you can cross multiply to solve for b. We have 25b squared equals 1. Divide both sides by 25, divide this by 25. Now you're left with a statement that says b squared equals 1 over 25. So now all we have to do is take the square root, which gives us b is equal to 1/5. Now I know that we also technically need to take into account the -1/5, but in this case, because we're talking about exponential functions, b has already been determined that it has to be a positive value. So we know that b is equal to 1/5. So now we are ready to write our final exponential function. Our exponential function is y equals 5. Put a dot here so we don't misread anything. 1 to the 5 times 1/5 to the x power. All right, so that's actually just go through the steps systematically, and you can find out the values of a and b. It does say determine whether the function is increasing or decreasing. In order to help you visualize that, I'm going to graph these points. 0, 5 is right here, and -2, 125 is going to be way up here, okay? So remember that exponential function is going to have a curved, a curved line here. So we've got something like this going on, which means that, I hope you can see, that it is decreasing. If it were increasing, it would look like this, okay? So decreasing is the correct answer for this.